So if you didn't know already, the OKC Thunder traded for Kemba Walker, giving up Al Horford to the Boston Celtics. They also acquired the number 16 pick in the draft because, of course they did, they're the Thunder. They are just stacking up on draft picks for multiple years, and one day they're going to get a star player to build around SGA and truly have a championship contending team. But for now, they're still in rebuild mode, and Kemba Walker doesn't really fit with their team. They have multiple options they could go with him. They could go the Chris Paul route and have him play a few games for them, maybe a season, build up his trade value, and then trade him next offseason or at the trade deadline for a really good package. Or they can do what they did with Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio during last offseason by trading them immediately after they got them for more picks. Now, it would be kind of cool to see a Kemba Walker Shea backcourt, but I don't know if that's realistic since the Thunder are rebuilding. So I think that they should trade him this offseason. But then again, his value may be low because he's coming off an injury and he had a pretty rough playoffs. But I think that there's a contending team out there that'd be willing to give a young player and maybe a protected pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder. That way they can play their young guys more minutes and not have to worry about playing the veteran Kemba Walker. Of course, they could do what they did with Al Horford, have him play for a few games, be a veteran leader, and then just sit him out the rest of the season. But I don't like this because Kemba Walker is just too talented to be sitting on the bench for half a season. And I think OKC should trade him at maybe the trade deadline. I feel like he should play a few games with them to build up his trade value, and then they should trade him. And if it's working out really well and they're in the playoffs, they should keep him, make a playoff spot, and maybe attract a free agent in the stacked 2022 free agency class. But then again, trading Kemba Walker right now would be tough because I'm not sure what package they could get. But I think that they could sneak a pretty decent package out of some contending teams that are desperate to make a change. Now, let's begin the list. The first team on the list is the obvious choice and the team that's pursuing him the most. That is the Los Angeles Lakers. They could use another shot creator on that team next to LeBron and also have Anthony Davis in the front court. I think that, I'm not sure though, obviously I don't know how much teams value Dennis Schroeder, but if the Lakers were willing to do a sign and trade, or if Schroeder's even willing to do that himself, if Schroeder and the Lakers agree to do a sign and trade, I think they could trade KCP and Dennis Schroeder and maybe a protected first round pick for Kemba Walker, because he would really help out their team, considering that the Lakers struggled to get offense this season without LeBron and AD on the floor. So I think Kemba Walker would be a nice guy to be in the second unit. And when they need a three-pointer, he can hit the three-pointer very well. And that's a big problem with the Lakers. They're spacing. I think they need to work on spacing and getting one more all-star level player. Kemba Walker can fill both of those things, so this is a must for the Lakers. Also to make the money work, and also since the Lakers want to get off him anyways, the Lakers could also toss in Kyle Kuzma to the Thunder, and I like this because I think Kuzma just needs a new change of scenery and not to play with LeBron and have all the pressure on him in order to thrive truly. So hopefully he can do better if he does play on a rebuilding team, and the Thunder is the perfect place for him. Another team in the running for Kemba Walker is the Miami Heat. Miami could do a sign and trade with Duncan Robinson and Andre Iguodala in order to get Kemba Walker. They may also need to toss in Tyler Hero. His value is probably low, but he's a nice young player that they can toss into this trade. Maybe even purchase Achua. But my final proposed trade is they give up Goran Dragic in a sign and trade, Tyler Hero, Precious Achua, and Andre Iguodala to make the money work. Now, this is a lot. However, they may not be giving up a first-round pick. They may need to give up one, but I don't think they'll need to give up too much assets in terms of draft picks if they give up Hero and Achua, because they're two nice young players that the Thunder can develop, and then they can just get two veterans in Dragic and Iguodala. And the Heat still get to keep Duncan Robinson. And in this hypothetical trade, the Thunder would probably just immediately trade Iguodala for a couple of second-round picks to a contending team with cap space. They could also look to trade Goran Dragic, but maybe they do the Al Horford treatment with him, and they use him as a veteran leader, and then they don't play him that much at the end of the season. I don't know, but this is a very interesting trade, Kemba Walker to the Heat. The next team is the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas would obviously be giving up Kristaps Porzingis. This is a proposed trade that a lot of people have come up with. I'm not sure what OKC would do with Porzingis. I'm not going to get into that because I really don't know. If they got Porzingis, what would they do with that contract? And I don't think he fits. I don't know what they would do. I'm lost. But I think that Dallas would definitely love Kemba Walker because Kemba Walker is another shot creator next to Luka Doncic. Porzingis just didn't work out, so maybe it's time to trade him to attempt to get another co-star next to Luka. I think Kemba Walker and Luka in the backcourt will be a deadly combination, and I think that this would work out. But I don't know what the Thunder would do with Kristaps Porzingis. That's the only reason why this trade may not go through. Another team on my list is the Chicago Bulls. Now, Kobe White's expected to miss 4 to 6 months with shoulder surgery, and considering the season starts in October, he's probably going to miss the first 1 to 2 months. So his value goes down since the Bulls desperately need to do something in the postseason, even if it's a play-in tournament spot, since they traded their first-round pick this year for Vucevic, and they have to make LaVine happy out of his free agency choice next season. And the trade would involve Kobe White, a sign-and-trade with Lauri Markkanen, and Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young could be another veteran that they could trade for a first-round pick. Kobe White and Lauri Markkanen are young building blocks for their franchises. They are a rebuilding team. The Bulls probably wouldn't want to toss in, a pick since they're already giving up their 2023 top 10 protected pick. Or is it, I don't know what the protection is, but I think they are giving up a protected pick in 2023 to the Magic in the Vucevic trade. So I don't know if they want to give up their pick in 2022 or this next season, but maybe a couple second-round picks to get this trade done. And I think that Walker, LaVine, and Vucevic would definitely be a playoff team, at least in the play-in tournament. So this is a trade that the Bulls need to do. Another possible trade is Kemba Walker to the Knicks. I don't really know what the package would be. Maybe it would be like Obi Toppin and 3 to 4 of their veteran players, re-sign them and then trade them, I guess. Maybe Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks, and Taj Gibson all sign them to 2-year contracts and then trade them to the Thunder with Obi Toppin and maybe a protected pick as well to get Kemba Walker. And now for the Knicks, this would basically give them another scorer because their defense is great. They'd lose some defense without Noel, but it would be all right. I mean, maybe not, but getting a true number one scoring option in Kemba Walker next to Randall and Derrick Rose, and then upcoming star Emmanuel Quickley. Just watch. Quickley is going to become a star one day. You just wait. I believe in him. I think he can be an all-star one day. I think the New York has a bright future, and they can make the play-in tournament. I don't think they'll be as good as they were this year, but I think if they get Kemba Walker, they won't completely fall off. Another possible thing is that he just doesn't get traded at all. He could just stay with the Thunder, and I think that he should do the Chris Paul thing, where he plays 1 year, maybe leads them to the playoffs, has a career, revives his career like Chris Paul does, makes the All-Star team, makes an All-NBA team maybe, you know what I'm saying, kind of like Chris Paul did, and then they can trade him for more value than they could right now. Who knows what his value could go up to? I don't even know what his value is at right now, but it's definitely not as high as it was a few years ago. If they can get that value back up, next offseason they could make a big move to acquire a bunch of more first-round picks for the future, or if they like where their team is following this season with Kemba Walker, they could just keep him if they like their core of Shea, Lou Dort, and Kemba Walker. So that's it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to smash like, subscribe on the video, turn on those post notifications, and remember to comment your favorite Kemba Walker trade, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.